I was horrible with women until I did this. I started approaching in real life. Yes, I've been on dating apps and I understand their value and I understand their advantage for some guys, but for your average guy who's not over 6 feet tall, who's not good looking, you're gonna get 5 coffee dates out of every 100 matches. You're gonna get, one potential second date after 5 of those coffee dates. And are you really interested? Is this a specific person that you're interested in? What you need to do is start approaching in real life. Wherever you go and whatever you do in your day to day, you can go up to a stranger and just start a conversation. But for example, I used to go to the gym a lot and then I became a personal trainer. And some would say you have an advantage of talking to a whole bunch of different people as a personal trainer. And that's what you can do. You can get a job that incorporates the social aspect. So what I did is I got a job as a personal trainer and I just talked to everybody. I was friendly with everybody. And when I did see that girl that was attractive, I would go up and say, hello, how's your workout going? Okay, cool. I have to go train a client right now, or I'm just getting on break. I'm going to grab a coffee. It was nice to meet you. And that was that. And you probably see that person again. But in a situation where, let's say it's at maybe a grocery store or a coffee shop, or you see a girl on the street, those are a little bit harder. But what you can do is you can go up to that person. You just say hello. Oh, what's your name, by the way? Oh, it was nice to meet you, but I got to go grab a coffee. Let's exchange numbers, or I'll grab your Instagram. Instagram is the way to do it because they can see you. They can put a face to a name. They can creep a little bit and they can decide if they want to chat with you and maybe meet up. If you do that 100 times as opposed to matching with 100 people online, you'll have far better success. And who does that? Who actually goes up to a person in real life anymore and starts a normal conversation? Yes, it's going to be hard in the beginning. Yes, you're going to have approach anxiety and it's going to be weird. You're going to feel awkward. All these things your heart's going to be pounding. You're not going to want to do it. There's always going to be that fear. But if you push through that fear, on the other side of that fear, there will be results. There will be personal growth, and you're going to really surprise yourself and how good your results are actually going to be. So if you start going up to people, there's 3 things that you're going to kind of realize. Number 1 is it's extremely anxiety provoking. You're going to be nervous. Your heart's going to be pounding, and it's just going to be scary, and you're really never going to get over that, but it's just going to get less and less of a big deal over time. You still will have approach anxiety. Number 2 is you're going to develop skills as you go. If you have the first skill by approaching, you're going to need a second skill. And that second skill is actually getting the person's contact information, setting a time constraint, making sure that they know you're not just going to stick around because you said, oh, I got to go grab a coffee with my buddy or whatever the case is. It was nice to meet you. And then you're out of there and you can chat with them and meet up for maybe a one-on-one, or you have some cool things to do that you're doing this week or next week, and you can invite them along so it's lower pressure. You got them out with your friends. It's not a one-on-one. It's not a big deal. So learn the skills that you need to learn as you progress. Number 1 is approaching. Number 2 would be getting the number, the Instagram preferably. Number 3 would be facilitating the meetup and knowing that texting or DMing on Instagram is just a means to a meetup. It's not getting to know them. It's not texting them. It's not having this 2-week relationship over text and you've never met up once. Texting and Instagram and all that is just to facilitate a meetup in real life. That's all it is. Then once you've gained that skill and you're on a one-on-one or you've brought them out with your friends, now you have to learn new skills, and that's to be carefree, outgoing, laughing, joking around, always talking, always knowing what to say, active listening, vocal tonality, all the good stuff that's going to get you the results. And one thing that you need to realize you can't do is you can't bring your serious nature and your achieving nature from your job or your career into that environment. That environment's going to kill your game. What you're really going to see succeed is laughing, joking around, having fun, singing, dancing, being silly, being stupid. And then from there, things are going to naturally progress. They're going to feel comfortable around you. And then the last skill that you obviously need to master is turning that into something intimate if that's a consensual thing between the two of you that you both want. So I know it's hard and I know it's not easy, but you have to ask yourself, who is doing that? Who is actually approaching? Who is actually being at the cause of their life and not actually just going on a dating app and, getting what they get or hoping for the best? And I've been there too, guys. Trust me, I've been on dating apps and I've done all that. But I met my wife in real life at a breakfast diner. I was with a couple of my buddies. I went in, sat down. It was an empty seat at the bar at the diner, sat down beside her and her friend, started up a conversation about, oh, this is good on the menu. Cool. Yeah, let's exchange Instagrams, kind of throughout the 20-minute, half an hour breakfast, whatever. And then we ended up exchanging information. She went onto my Instagram, saw me for who I was. My best foot forward is what I encourage you to do as well. Make sure that your Instagram is packed with good photos and your best foot forward so they can go on there when you do meet someone in person. They can kind of get to know you. Have some stories on there. Have who you are so they can get to a feel and some comfortability before you reach out. So that's how I met my wife. So start to be at the cause of your life and your dating by approaching in real life, whether that's rock climbing, running club, at the gym, at the grocery store. You can practice really anywhere. But the best place to practice if you want a lot of reference experiences very quickly, a more challenging environment as well, is going out to the bar. And the nightlife situation, you're going to learn how to really have to project your voice. You're going to be competing with a whole bunch of different guys that are there for the same thing, and they're not going to back down. So make sure that if you're starting to act alpha, just realize that other guys are going to challenge you and you might have some confrontation. So obviously walk away from fights. Nothing is ever worth it to get into physical confrontation, but you're just there to practice. You're just in that environment to meet a lot of different people, and maybe you're going to meet a lot of guy friends too and girlfriends. But just know that you're out there to meet a lot of different people and expand your social skills, and it's just practice. It's not a big deal. You're not going to meet the woman of your dreams in night one. I mean, maybe you will, and I hope you do, but the likelihood of you having success is dependent on meeting a whole bunch of different people. And when I did meet my wife at that breakfast diner, I'd been for years as a personal trainer, meeting a whole bunch of different people, in and out of relationships, dating, figuring out what I liked, what I didn't like. And you really have to go through a lot of those good relationships, bad relationships, learn what you want and learn what you need. But also you need to get into a position in your own life to come to the place where you're ready for that longer term relationship. When I was in my late 20s, early 30s, I wasn't even ready for that long-term relationship or marriage or anything like that. So when I did meet my wife, I was kind of at the point where it was like, okay, either I'm going to commit to this one person and it's going to be amazing and we're going to get married, or I'm just going to continue going and doing exactly what I've been doing before, person after person, meeting a whole bunch of different people and not taking that, what I thought was the next stage in any man's life as you approach your mid to late 30s and going into your 40s, is you want to have a solid partner to build a solid foundation of family legacy, potentially getting married and having children. The only reason, in my opinion, for getting married is to have a family, to have that family unit. And whether you have kids or not, you're still building that family unit and that family legacy with whatever it is that you're pursuing. And it doesn't need to be kids. It probably should for a lot of people be kids, because you're having that experience and that amazing depth of life that you're never going to find anywhere else, not through just having a partner anyway. So having kids is incredible, but what you really need to focus on is finding that right person by trial and error and meeting a whole bunch of different people. So I hope that helped, guys. Something to think about. Comment down below what you think the main skill to attracting women is in that initial attraction. So let me know what you think that main skill and that initial attraction would be when it comes to meeting women. If you like this content, guys, like this video and subscribe to the channel. And check out this video right here. I think you might like it as well. Take care.